Hello children, in this video we are going to study about the activity based questions. Now all of you might be wondering what kind of questions will appear in activity based question, that is question number 5. There were many activities that we had done in our previous videos. All those activities will culminate and come as a question in your examination, as we don't have any separate mark for activity. So in this examination I have included the activities as a kind of question so that you don't skip those activities. In this video, we are going to study about the questions that would be asked based on activities. Now, the activities that we had studied so far were activity based on the rational number, wherein we saw how we could find rational numbers between any two rational numbers using paper folding method. Under that activity, we studied how we could find rational numbers between two rational number using paper folding. We first found the number which is exactly in the middle using paper folding, folding wherein we had directly folded the paper into exact halves. That way we found a rational number which was exactly in the middle. Likewise, when we talked about the rational numbers and how many rational numbers can we find between any two rational numbers, we also saw that since the paper's length can be infinitely long, so we could have as many rational numbers as we want between any two rational numbers. So there is infinitely many rational number between any two rational number. That was our conclusion. It was conclusive because of the paper folding method and the length of the paper, since it can be as long as we want. It was easy for us to understand that. Then now, in our second activity, we studied about linear equations in one variable. Under that, we had paper cuttings, which we had any number, and then we just framed an equation based on that. Now, whenever we are asked to make a linear equation, we have to know that the power of that variable must always be 1. It cannot be x square or x cubed or x squared or x raised to 4. That kind of power should not be there for the variable. Otherwise, that equation doesn't remain a linear equation any longer. So that is one thing that we have to know. So the question, what kind of question will come when we talk about linear equations? Now, the question will be to find out or to frame an equation based on the number of figures or any paper cuttings or anything that's given there. You have to frame an equation based on that. That would be how the question will be. Only thing that you must remember is that the power of the variable must not exceed 1, or it should not become 0 either. It should be exactly 1. Then only it is a linear equation. So that is how you would be asked a question based on linear equations activity. Now after that we had third chapter, that is understanding quadrilateral. Now understanding quadrilateral, again we had an activity wherein we studied the angle sum property of a quadrilateral. Now we had seen when we cut out all the corners, all the vertices or all the angles of a quadrilateral and paste them together, we get all the angles to be forming a complete rotation. Now what is the measure of a complete rotation? Around a point when you rotate completely, you get 360 degree. Therefore, we concluded that the angles of a quadrilateral, when you sum it up, when you add it up, when you total it up, it comes to 360. Now what kind of question might come? You will be asked a question as to how many degrees would you get if you added all the angles. So it's simple enough that just have to write 360 degree there. Such kind of question or similar kind of questions will be coming. After that, we had studied about the chapter that is squares and square roots. Now under squares and square roots, we talked about how to find the squares mentally. Now in this, we might be asked as to what would be our first step to find the squares mentally. What would you do? And or maybe you may be asked how many digits should be there in a number for you to find the squares mentally. So that kind of questions may arise. Now under squares and square roots, we had another activity, that is Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem, we all know that it's based on the right angle triangle. So the question might come, on which type of triangle can you use Pythagoras theorem? Such kind of simple questions would be coming. So that's how activity based questions will be coming for your exam.